Hey, besties, let's talk about understanding your relationship with money. We need to understand why our relationship with money is the way that it is, right? I'm going to break this down so you can understand this. Knowing your relationship with money is so super important to know where it is now, how it got there, in order for us to transform and move forward and to create a better relationship with money and learn how to attract abundance, right? So, let's talk about it. Reflecting on your money story. So I want you to have your notebook and your pen right now. I want you to take some time and reflect on your upbringing and your past experiences with money. Consider in your mind how your family, whether it be your culture, early life experiences, how you was raised, where you was raised. Take a moment and think about how that shaped the way that you think right now, and take some time to really think like how that reflects your relationship with money. It reflects our attitude about money, right? Take a minute to really reflect on your money story. Your money story is so important and is so unique because once you understand what your money story is, then we can say, okay, now I know where the things that where my triggers are, where my shortcomings are, or why did I always think this way when it's really this way, right? Really understanding your relationship with money and where you currently are is going to help you change some things around, change all of it around, right? And get to the other side and start to really feel like I can change. It is, it is it's everything I want is out there, right? So your money story is super important. Different cultures were raised different ways where they were taught to do certain things. If you grew up in the inner city like me, for an example, we only knew what we knew. We didn't really ask very many questions. We were just raised in a household where we knew the bills were getting paid because we had food, the light was on, the rent was paid, of course, right? We lived good, but we just knew, like, every day you wake up, you go to school, and the goal is to do good in school, go to college, and start a family. That's just pretty much what we had at a certain age. You had to get out of the household and start helping, maybe because mom had other younger siblings you had to pour effort in and helped raise, or maybe it was just mom needed help in the home and you started working at a very young age in order to help provide, or any of those things, or all of them I touched on. If you can relate to them, those bullets I touched on are part of your money story. A lot of them are a part of my money story. And if it is yours, don't be afraid. It can be transformed, right? But you need to know your money story. Write that down in your notes. What is my money story? If you have the Money Mindset Planner, I tell my money story on the first page. When you open it, you read all of my own personal money story. So many women can relate to it. It's been amazing. And I never knew, going into launching the Money Mindset Planner 3 years ago, I was scared. Like, I don't want to tell everybody my life story, or like I was downplaying, who I am and what I come from. And I'm so glad that I had the courage. My coach pushed me and mentors, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to just do this. And I'm so grateful that I had done that because I was able to help change so many women behind, like, hey, I definitely relate to these things. So I know you're going to relate to them as well. Know your money story. You have to reflect on it no matter how bad it might hurt. You have to reflect on your money story. And then the next thing I want you to do when it comes to understanding your relationship with money, the number two thing is going to be identifying emotional triggers. Yes, this is a big one for us women, right? Identify our emotional triggers. I want you to pay attention to your emotions and reactions when it comes to money. I want you to start to pay attention to patterns of fear, patterns of guilt, patterns of shame, patterns of excitement that risk your financial situation. These emotions can provide valuable insight into your relationship with money. Yes. Don't we know that as women? The emotional triggers, right? I'll give you a quick example of an emotional trigger. You may be someone who feel like I've worked and I've done really good in my business all week. And you just feel like I'm just tired of spending all my money out to pay bills and mortgage and take care of everyone else. I can't buy myself nothing. And you may just be like, I'm going to buy myself something, right? You have an emotional, that's an emotional trigger. Like, I'm taking care of everyone else, but I'm not, you feel like you're not taking care of yourself because you don't have nothing material in your hand, right? You haven't been on Amazon getting stuff. You didn't go to the hair store and spend $200 on nothing or stuff that you really don't need, or your favorite go-to places online, or just go to Walmart, walk around Target, and just, get things that you don't need it, but you're going to the store or you're doing this online shopping because something else triggered that. What triggers you? You have to find out your triggers. What triggers you? Which stress happens in your life that triggers you? Or maybe it can be people. Maybe your only connection is with women who call you out to brunch every week, or they're always inviting you to parties, and every single holiday you feel really dedicated to your children. Like, I have to get, like, what are your triggers? What makes you feel that you have to make that purchase? You got to identify what your triggers are, because then we can learn the discipline slowly but surely to stop and take control of those triggers so that we can control our finances. If we don't know and recognize and aware of what the trigger actually is to make us go do these things and shop and swipe where we really don't need to, therefore, how do we find discipline to stop? And we're like, okay, what am I stopping? What are your emotional triggers? I want you to write that down and figure that out. Everybody's is different. I want you to also learn to track your financial habits, right? Tracking your financial habits. That is so very important. And when I talk about this, sometimes people feel like it's a hard thing to do, and it's not. Because when I say track your financial habits, you'll say, like, I don't know what my habits are, or, I've been everywhere, girl. I don't even know what I've spent. So tracking your financial habits is so, so easy. The first thing I tell my clients to do, or is what I've had to do to figure out where those swipes are coming from. Where am I at too much this week? What did I do too much this month? What is taking up the bulk of my money that I could be putting towards saving for purchasing my home, or putting back into my business so that I can make it bigger, and do what I desire to do on an even higher scale. So if that's you, if you're saying, like, I don't know what my habits are, or I have so many, I don't know, I can't boil it down, like, go to your bank statements. Go to your bank statements. I promise you, if you scroll through a month, if you scroll through 2-3 weeks of your bank statements, I guarantee you're going to see 4 to 6 swipes of the same place that you've been to within a week and a half. I guarantee you. All right. I'm putting you up for the challenge. Scroll through your bank statements and see where you have 4 to 6 swipes at the same store or the same online transactions. And then that's what you'll know. These are my spending habits. You need to know what your spending habits are. Then we're going to keep a track of your income versus expenses. And then we're going to start to take away those bad spending habits and the things that we don't need to do, or the places that we don't need to go as much. Are you a spender or are you a saver? Your bank statement is going to tell you that too. It's going to tell you if a client just paid a $3,000 invoice, and you go back to your bank statements, it's 2 weeks later and you're down to $1,000, or you're down to $500 from 3,000, you're not a saver, you're a spender, right? Know if you're a saver or a spender. Do you feel anxious or empowered when managing money? That's a very, very great question. Do you feel anxious when it comes to managing? Do you feel anxious when it comes to spending, or are you empowered by managing your money? If you're anxious to spend, that's something you want to work on and gain control of. If you're empowered when managing your money, that's a great thing. Then after that, the only thing we would need is some strategy behind it to hit your ultimate goal. The next thing I want to talk to you about is explore your values and priorities. Yes, 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 yes. Consider what money means to you beyond what you value, right? What are your core values and priorities in life? What are your core values and priorities in life? You have to ask yourself these things. How does money align with these values? That's a good one. Understanding your deeper motivation can help you when it comes to making conscious decisions about money. That's just the reality of it. Explore your values and priorities. So, if you are a person who values being a consumer, you're going to need some work. You're going to need some time to really figure out why you value these things. Do you value every time new sneakers come out? Do you value every time Shein has a sale and they send you that text or that email of that good 70, 80% off? You're like, girl, this is a sale. You have to gain control and know that these things are put in place for consumers, people who are attracted by sales, right? They feed off of that thing. This is how people make money, and it's just business. The more you learn the psychology game of sales and grow your business, you should start doing the same thing. But you have to gain control and say, I'm not going to tap in every time they send those emails. Matter of fact, I'm working on buying my dream home, or I'm working on getting a commercial building for my business. I'm going to delete and unsubscribe to these things that doesn't pertain to me. It's all about your value system, right? What is priority to you? Is getting your growing your business from online to the commercial space a priority for you? Or is the priority for you having those brand new Jordans that just dropped because everybody else gonna have them? It's all about what you value, and is not taking anything away from anybody, but your value and priority system means a lot when it comes to financial success. You cannot do both, all right? Is not saying that we can't buy Jordans or buy ourselves $200-300 shoes as bossy women in business. It just means knowing when to do it and knowing how to do it, right? The time to do it is not when we're focused on a bigger picture. You have to know the time to do it, these transactions, right? I want you to, the last thing is also seek feedback and support. That is exactly, the support is so huge on this journey, this financial transformation journey. That's why I was like, I'm going to include the private Facebook group. I want to give you women a private and safe space where you can talk about these things and share some things that maybe you're experiencing. You feel like somebody else, you think nobody else is experiencing it because it may be fearful of you to share it. But I'm telling you, once you share something or you come across something, I guarantee you people are going to be like, oh my God, I went through that too. Or, oh my God, like, yeah, that was me. I'm telling you, when I decided to get out of my own way and say, hey, I need to use my personal financial story, my personal money mindset story with the world to help other women in business, all these women just started coming like, girl, I need some help, or oh my God, I can relate to you. So I personally firsthand been through it. So I'm going to tell you that no matter what you thinking that is like you too afraid or fearful to share, it's always somebody who can relate to you. And that will make you feel more comfortable, because I know it does for me. Right? So different people value different perspectives. So make sure you leverage the Facebook group for feedback and support in whatever it is you may be trying to do. And don't feel like that you're the only one, because you're not the only one, I promise you.